You guys, we are back. Welcome to season 4 of You Are the Healer. I am so stoked to be back and to be recording. And before I get into the season that we're starting, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to anyone that has supported You Are the Healer over the last 2 years. I just had a little celebration party for my 2-year anniversary of making this podcast and now my new business. So I deeply just want to say thank you to anyone who has listened, subscribed, been open to healing, to hearing a healing message, because that is not easy. It is very tempting to not want to face yourself and to not want to explore your inner world. But I really deeply respect and appreciate every single person that takes the time towards healing themselves, because we are all connected. We are all in consciousness, and any effort that you put into healing yourself inevitably heals everybody else too. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening to this message. Thank you for listening now in our new season. I'm so excited to get into it. So this new season is the season of spice. Okay. And what inspired this season for me, honestly, was Dune, the movie. I just thought that was a really cool, visual. And then I just started thinking about how to make mental health content into it. And you guys, I am so freaking excited. For this season, we're going to be using one big metaphor to talk about our lives and our mental health. So I'm essentially going to be comparing your life to food, right? So think about what food is like without any seasoning. Bland, boring. You're not really excited to eat it. You're not really enjoying it. There's just not much going on, right? And so if your life doesn't have any spice, it might be easier. It might be smoother sailing, but you're not savoring the sweetness of it. You're not enjoying that dynamic flavor, the layers, the taste. And so I'm using this metaphor for mental health because I feel like in all of the past episodes, we've laid groundwork, right? The basics are covered, okay? If you want to learn about gratitude, I got an episode on that. You want to learn about mindfulness? I have an episode on that. You want to learn how to get yourself out of a rut and help yourself? I got an episode on that. But life is not just about surviving. Life is not just, let me coast, let me just get by. Our lives are meant to be enjoyed. And so this season, we're going to be talking about the flavors, the different flavors of life. And it's not just the flavors that we really, really like and that are nice and delicious on our palate. We're going to be talking about spices. We're going to be talking about those intense, heated emotions, those really hard things in life. But without these things, our life would be flavorless. It would be boring. It would be bland. And so, yes, you could pick a world and a life where you're just coasting by. Maybe you're just salt and pepper. You're a boiled potato with salt and pepper. That personally sounds horrific to me. I remember early on in my life, if you haven't listened to my first episode, it's my mental health story. I lay all the groundwork, but essentially at a young age, I started repressing all of my emotions. And I basically had a flavorless life. I had a salt and pepper boiled potato life because I didn't want to feel my feelings. I didn't want to deal with all of the spices, with the flavoring, with all of the intensities of life, good and bad. That's the thing about mental health and healing and your emotions. If you're choosing to numb out, if you're choosing to distract yourself, to not savor and honor each emotion as it comes, you're going to be coasting in this neutral, boring, bland life. It's going to be apathetic. You're not going to feel the intense sorrow of depression, and you're also not going to feel the ecstatic joy of being alive. So you can have a life without any seasoning. It'll be boring, it'll be bland, but it might be easy. Or, which obviously that's what I'm selling right now because this is the season of spice, you could have a flavorful life and you could embrace the taste of all of the variety of life. You can savor the sweetness. You can also learn how to handle the heat of really intense things. And that way you will be fully alive. You will be fully embracing the highs, the lows, everything that makes life worth living. It might be messy, it might be rich, it might be painful, it might be beautiful, it might be delicious. All of it is life. And I just want to reiterate, you are here for so much more than to just survive. You are here to be alive, to enjoy your life, to learn how to manage all of the hardships. I also just want to give a quick shout out to my mom. She got me this You Matter sweatshirt. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, I just think it's so cute, and I just really wanted to rep it for an episode. Anyways, okay, so why am I talking about spice in the context of mental health? What is this big metaphor, Sydney? What are you talking about? I'm so happy to tell you. So, spice, I want you guys to think of like the intense emotions, the intense experiences, good, bad, neutral, and different identities that color our lives. There's so much variety in life. No one is the same as the person next to them. Their experiences, their how they experience emotions, the emotions that they feel frequently, the identities that we have, that is what makes life so beautiful is there's variety in all of these things. No one is the same and everyone's got a different flavor profile, if you will, okay? Some of the spices that we'll be talking about in this season are sweet, they're yummy, they're delicious, and I'm going to teach you how to savor them a little bit more. We're going to be talking about joy. We're going to be talking about playfulness, pleasure. We're going to be talking about neurodiversity and embracing your differences. Some of the spices in this season, they're sharp. They might be painful. You might hate spicy food, but in the season of spice, there's flavors happening. And I'm going to teach you guys how to hold them, how to manage them, what to do when the heat gets turned up too much. So we're going to be talking about anger, anxiety, burnout, politics. Okay, we're getting into it. And I want to say without this variety, without the sweetness, without the spiciness, life would be so boring. And you would feel numb. As tempting as it might be when you're in the thick of negative experiences, feeling numb is a really hard route to go. So I'm going to teach you guys how to savor the sweetness, how to manage the spiciness, and truly embrace the variety that is life. Because, like I said, life is meant to be lived. We are meant to be alive and fully experience everything. And that is something that really comes from embracing your emotional experience and learning how to manage your mental health. It's not about, I'm never going to eat spicy food ever again in my life. You'd miss out on all of those delicious flavors, okay? It's about learning how to taste for the first time. Maybe you've really been pushing your experience down. You don't want to feel, you don't want to feel. It's about starting to learn how to taste, how to differentiate between spices. It's about managing when life gets a little too heated. You're feeling a little burnt. And most importantly, it is about enjoying the meal that is your life. Okay, life is meant to be enjoyed, and spices make everything more enjoyable. I mean, literally think about like the food that you eat. Think about, I keep going to a plain boiled potato because I'm like, what else could be more boring than that? Like rice with nothing on it, just rice. You know what I mean? There's nothing to it. It's almost like, why even eat it, right? But your life could be full of all of these spices. Think of like an intricate, slow cooked curry, right? You got cumin in there, you got curry powder, you a little paprika, maybe a little smoked paprika, right? And everyone has different spices that they like and spices that they prefer. So join me this season in the season of spice to become your own chef, to be the chef of your life, to craft up a beautiful recipe for yourself, to taste life more deeply, to savor your emotions, to turn down the heat when needed and learn how to manage it, and to turn this flavor and spice all the way up when you're ready to savor your life, to claim your fire, and to just fully be alive. You are the healer. You are the chef of your life. You have the tools, the spices, the ingredients to make whatever life you want. And we're about to turn up the heat together, baby. Now, as we wrap up the trailer for the season of spice, I would love to hear y'all's stories and experiences with this topic. So you can answer the question if you're on Spotify. I'll post a little Q&A, comment on YouTube, DM me on Instagram. I would love to know a memory or a story where you had spice in your life. So this could be a true experience of joy, of creativity, of something really just sweet and delicious. Or it could be a time when you had really spicy, intense heat and you came out stronger, you learned how to manage it. Or maybe you made a lot of mistakes and you learned a lot from it. Or maybe you have a story about when you felt so numb and it was worse than feeling the intense heat and flavor of a really spicy life. So go ahead and engage with me and tell me a story about how spice has affected your life. good, bad, the ugly. I want to hear it all. I love my community. I love all of the little people that listen to this podcast. Thanks so much for listening to this season trailer of the Season of Spice. I'm your host, Sydney Rinderknecht, a psych nurse, where I use my mental health experience to educate, encourage, and motivate you guys to be your own healers. So join me for the Season of Spice as we dive into the flavors of life. Cheers!